what's up, everybody? Welcome to Just My Two Cents. I'm super excited to be back with another video. For this particular video, I'm extremely excited because we will be talking about me planning my Disney vacation. And for this particular video, I wanted to take you all on the process of me planning my Disney vacation from start to finish, to me actually going down to Walt Disney World and being in the parks and talking about that whole experience as well. And one of the reasons that I'm also excited about this particular series will be simply because I enjoy Disney. I have always enjoyed Walt Disney World and Universal Studios since I was a child, and even as an adult, it is still one of my favorite places to go and visit. So I really wanted to take you all on this process, especially for those who might feel like that Disney is too expensive for them to visit. Maybe because of the hotel prices or the ticket prices or the prices inside of the parks. I really wanted to show you all how you can visit Disney on a budget and not break the bank and still be able to go down there and enjoy Disney once you actually get in the parks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So me and my sister, we decided after watching so many different Disney vloggers to go to Walt Disney World. And at first we were like, we will go after the pandemic. However, it seems like the pandemic is going to be here for quite some time. So we decided to just go ahead and see what were some options in regards to planning a Disney vacation. So shout out to all the Disney vloggers such as Paige and Mr. Morrow, Theme Park Express, DC Dev, as well as so many more. But those are the ones that we watch a lot, and you all have contributed to us really wanted to go down there and experience Walt Disney World. So some of the things that we considered in regards to planning our trip really dealt with transportation, hotel costs, as well as the tickets and how much they will cost and how many days we might want to spend in the parks, as well as the overall cost. Now, as children, when we went to Walt Disney World, or even as teenagers, we never had to consider any of this. The only thing we had to consider was packing a suitcase, getting in the car, experiencing Walt Disney World, and coming back home. That was it. However, as an adult, and actually planning a vacation to Walt Disney World, we saw that we need to kind of think some of this through. So these are some of the things that we had to think about as we were planning this particular trip. So let's start with transportation. So considering transportation, we had to think about a number of things. And the first thing we had to think about was how would we actually get down to Florida? And when thinking about that, we had a number of ideas. And of course, the first idea was to fly. So when we decided to fly, we thought about the fact that we could fly down to Florida and take a shuttle from the airport to our respective hotel. So we were actually interested in staying at one of the Disney resorts. And with staying at one of the Disney resorts, we thought that we would have transportation from the airport to the Disney resort and then from the Disney resort back to the airport. However, beginning on January 1st, 2022, Disney will no longer provide shuttle services to and from the airports, which is not necessarily a deal breaker for us, but with knowing that, we also had to figure out how would we get around. Would we use Uber or Lyft or some other type of transportation service, or would we decide to rent a car? Now, if we were to rent a car, it would probably be around $200 to $300 for the amount of time that we would stay there. In addition to that, we thought about the idea of gas, and not only gas, but also having to pay to park at the different parks that we are interested in going to. And when we thought about that, we really said, okay, this might not necessarily be conducive to us. Also, with the Uber and Lyft situation, we thought that wouldn't be conducive to us as well, because we have been to other larger cities on vacation, and in some of those cities we already knew what the Uber and Lyft cost would be, and we didn't mind. However, for this particular trip, we thought that we didn't want to pay probably the Uber and Lyft prices that would be in that area. So we said, let's scratch flying down to Florida off of our transportation list. Now, in addition to that, we decided to drive down because it's not necessarily a long drive down to Florida from where we stay, but we decided to drive to Florida, which would end up saving us not only gas, but a rental car as well. In addition to thinking about the airport shuttle, we also thought about hotel shuttle services to and from the parks. Now, personally, with myself, I've stayed in a number of places and had to use shuttle services, and so far so good, but sometimes shuttle services can be a little iffy, especially when you consider the times and the times of operation, the times that you're going to be at whatever place you might be at, and then trying to coordinate that together. So considering that some of the parks, they open a little later, and then also considering that some of the parks open up a little earlier, I didn't want to necessarily take that risk of the shuttle service not working at a particular hotel, or the shuttle service closing down early and me not having transportation back. So we decided that we didn't want to rely on hotel shuttle services. Also, with the parks and parking at the parks, we noticed that if we were to drive from the hotel and park at the parks, we would be paying about $25, depending on, if we got regular parking. They have preferred parking as well. But if we were to get regular parking, we would pay about $25 per day. And we didn't necessarily want to pay that because we are going to the parks 2 days. So that's $50 plus, depending on the hotels that we stayed in, we might have to drive in a little further, and also sitting in line at, the parks and things of that nature. That's another tank of gas. So we're looking at maybe about $75, $80 something to drive down there and park. So that was another concern of ours. Also, getting around was a concern too, because to be honest, when I go to different states, I prefer for people who are familiar with the state and the driving expectations of the state. And I know that sounds crazy, but there are different driving expectations when you go to different states. And we all know how we feel about people who, when we're driving and we see a different license plate other than the people who are from our state, we're like, okay, see, this is why this state has bad drivers. So I usually like to depend on Uber and Lyft, but also, as I stated earlier, I don't really want to pay those fees of Uber and Lyft. So I was like, if I drive down there, I'll have my car. And not only will I have my car, but if I want to go off of Disney property or off from the hotel, then I would have that option without having to pay an additional fee. So transportation was something that we kind of spent a little while really trying to figure out. Also, I did want to throw this in there too. If you are planning to stay at a Disney resort, there is a fee attached if you want to park there. So there is a $15 fee for the value Disney resorts, a $20 fee for moderate resorts, and a $25 fee for deluxe resorts and villas. Now, with that being said, these fees are per night, but in my point of view, I feel like I would be more comfortable paying that amount of money than $25 plus gas. The next thing that we thought about was the hotel, or if we wanted to stay in a hotel or stay at a Disney resort. So with trying to find a hotel, we looked at a lot of different options, and what you see on the screen right now, I just put in some random dates. These are not the dates that I'm going, but I put in some random dates, and with these random dates. As you can see, the prices range from as little as $44 a night to as much as almost $1,000 or over $1,000 per night. And as you already know, the farther you stay from Disney World, the less amount of money that you are going to pay. And the closer you get in, the more you will have to pay. So this also went back into our conversations about transportation, because we were like, it's really no need to get a hotel that's really inexpensive and then have to drive a long distance every morning. Not only that, but also thinking about, do you really want to get up super early every morning and have to drive all those miles to get in line, park, and then enjoy the day? Then after you've spent the day at the park, drive all the way back to your hotel that night. For us, we decided it wasn't worth it. So my sister had a really great idea, and she mentioned that we should go and look at staying at some of the Disney resorts. We decided that the value resorts were good for us, and I decided for this particular video just to show you all that a lot of the value resorts and even some of the moderate resorts or the deluxe resorts, they have pretty much comparable prices to some of the hotels that surround them. And when you are staying at these particular resorts, you get a lot of options that you might not get at hotels, such as being able to stay in the parks later or having the extra hour before everybody gets in the park to explore the park without all the lines, staying after the park once everybody is getting ready to go home for the evening. Also, you're able to get some other perks such as transportation, so you don't have to worry about driving over there. Not only driving over there, but driving back once you're tired. In addition to that, you do get the perk of buying a Disney Magic Band early at a discounted rate. You also get the perk of having options to different food locations depending on the resorts that you stay in. I know at the value resorts, you kind of have like a food court type of situation for food, but you know, that's better than going back to a hotel that only has a convenience bar for you to kind of choose from. Also, they have so many other amenities such as pools and there's really good photo opportunities. So we were kind of sold on the different Disney resorts, especially when we considered the prices and how comparable they were to some of the hotel prices. The next thing we thought about were the tickets. And with the tickets, we decided to first go to our jobs discount ticket service site. And for this particular site, I have to be honest, I wasn't impressed. I decided to pick 2 days to go to the park. And I put the information in for it being 2 adults. And with the discount, it came up to be $430.50. However, I was just interested to see what the Disney website had to offer, so I did the same. I went and got a 2-day ticket for 2 adults for the same dates. These are not the dates we're going, but for the purpose of this video, I did the same dates. And when Disney added its tax and everything inside of it, it came up to be $469.90, meaning that it was somewhat of a discount, but I think I might have been expecting a little bit more. So what it boiled down to for me and my sister was simply the cost. We were trying to figure out how can we be as cost effective as possible going to Walt Disney World, but still making sure that we had a great time. So we decided that the best thing for us was to stay at the resorts. And this is why. When we compared the hotel prices and then buying tickets on top of that, we really came to the total cost of what it would cost to stay off property to stay on property. We were going to pay either right at what we are paying or even more. And we decided that it wasn't even worth it. So what I decided to do and how I really came to this conclusion was I decided to go to Walt Disney World's website, I went to the resort section. I put in the dates, and from there I chose a hotel that was somewhere that we thought that we would have a really great time, but also it had some of the amenities that we were looking for in a hotel or a resort in this case. And from there, we just decided to see the packages that they had to offer. The deal they gave us was for us to be able to stay there for 4 days and 3 nights and have 2 tickets apiece to go to the different theme parks. And we thought that was a great deal. Now, when we added up, if we were to stay at another hotel and then buy the tickets and then the transportation and things of that nature, we decided that wasn't what would work best for us with what we wanted from this particular vacation. So we decided to book a resort at that particular resort that we chose. Now, what you see on the screen is not the resort that we chose. Not only is it's not the resort, these are not the dates that we're going, but I wanted to show you all how you could take advantage of a great deal as well by doing some of the things that you see on the screen. Also, with this great deal, I was very excited to be able to go to Disney World for this particular price. And the resort that we're staying at, it has a lot to offer us. It has reliable transportation to and from the parks, so we don't have to worry about us trying to find parks or us not necessarily having transportation to and from the parks. Hopefully Disney doesn't change that complimentary transportation to and from the parks from their resorts. Also, it was a Disney resort. We've never stayed at a Disney resort before, so this will be an awesome experience for us. This particular package, it does come with the tickets and it has multiple food options. So if you do stay at some of the value hotels or resorts rather, you will still have some food options. It won't be as many if you were to stay at maybe a moderate or a deluxe resort, but you still have food options. In addition to that, you do have those awesome and cool Disney gift shops inside of each resort that you decide to stay in at Disney, and you have early access to the parks, and you have access to early dinner reservations, as well as whenever they bring Fast Pass back. I believe I heard somewhere that you'll have access to Fast Pass reservations early. I think if not, don't get that in the comments and beat me up about it. In addition to that, you get extra park hours before and after the park closes. So I think that staying at the resort was one of the best things that I and my sister could possibly do. And we're excited to go on this experience and to really just be down there and immersed in the Disney culture. Also, I wanted to do this video and just chronicle this particular experience simply because a lot of times people will think that they can't go to Disney because it's too expensive or they don't know where to start. So hopefully this will help somebody out. So until next time, make sure that you like the video, you comment and you subscribe. And also, if you're going to Disney World, comment down below and tell us what is your favorite resort or your favorite hotel to stay in, or what are you most excited about for your particular vacation. Until next time, make sure you like, you share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.